Hey y'all, I'm Tim and welcome to the Mr. Maple Show.
Hey guys, I'm Brian and I'm excited to be joining Tim today. We got a great show for you today. Hope you've been enjoying all this content we've been shooting lately. We try to keep it, fresh and try to keep some great plants coming your way. Every week we're like, man, let's go dig around and see what we can find for you guys. Today I think you're really going to enjoy what we got. We got a top 5 today. This is our top 5 purple plants for the week.
You may have seen me do my top 5 yellow Japanese maples. Well, these are the top 5 purple Japanese maples. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with your gardening friends. If you like this content, they'll like it too. And sign up for our weekly emails on MrMaple.com. We got amazing plants on Mr. Maple. Make sure you're shopping with us.
Yeah, man, I mean, starting out here, it's just going to be, every one of these are amazing, but we'll start here with our number 5. This is Purple Umbrella.
Yeah, Purple Umbrella. I mean, I think you had this out in Oklahoma.
I did. Yeah, this is a great introduction from Crispin. This is one of those great Shirasawanum type hybrids. It's a great plant. I planted it out in some sun and really gave it some nice dark purple colors to it, almost a black in some of those types of sunlight conditions, but great plant overall.
Yeah, I like that plant because it really does have that wider leaf, that Shirasawanum leaf, which gives it the name of the umbrella. But then it gets that deep purple colors like you talked about.
Yeah.
In fact, I've seen such deep colors, purple red colors of this plant that it blew my mind because I grow it in so much shade. And I thought to myself, man, if I give it some more sunlight, you really could bring out those purple colors on Purple Umbrella. By Crispin Silva, like he said, who introduced Mystic Makawa. I mean, we might do a whole highlight on some of his introductions at some point, but that's just another great Acer Shirasawanum.
Yeah, and I've heard Matt talk about this before. Sometimes if you put this in some deeper shade, you get some really odd, kind of almost reticulated style to it. I've seen pictures and you're like, is that the same plant? I mean, it just looks totally different. So you can kind of play around with it and get some really different colors on that. Really a great cultivar.
Yeah. So next up at number 4, we've got Purple Velvet.
Purple Velvet. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be kind of that, like what you think of REM, but in a purple color. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that, right?
Yeah, it's a newer selection by Talon Buchholz. It's a slower growing Acer Shirasawanum. Give it some protection from the hot afternoon sun. But this one gives you more of those plum purple colors. And with Purple Velvet is a great name for this plant. It's a newer selection, so it's just now getting available in the nursery trade. We may have the original here at Mr. Maple. I'm not 100% sure, but we did get probably a 40, 50 gallon of this plant in the ground. And I love this plant. It's very unique, very different, and it's a plant that really stands out. Gives you some nice oranges to reds in the fall. For Acer Shirasawanum, it's one that, I mean, you can't go wrong with the full moons.
Right, yeah, I remember taking pictures of this spring out in the greenhouses, and it's just constantly changing colors. You get that nice purple color, then it starts to fade, then it comes back with the new growth. I mean, it's just really, really, at every part of the year, just always an interest in that plant.
And if you haven't checked out our Acer Shirasawanum series we're doing right now on MrMaple.com, you got to get involved with that. We're listing on our Saturday showcases the Acer Shirasawanums and going through and highlighting a bunch of Acer Shirasawanums. And our first 2 today, those are Acer Shirasawanums. So they're probably going to be somewhere in the showcase. So go figure out which showcase they're in and where they line up.
Yeah. So number 3, I mean, we've got Amagi Shiguri. I mean, this thing is absolutely, probably when I think of purple, this is the one that's just got this crazy purple color on it. I mean, every year I see this thing leaf out and I'm just like, it's unbelievable some of the tones of colors you can get off of that.
Yeah, there are no blue Japanese maples, but there are definitely purple Japanese maples.
Yeah.
And we've got shades of purple, and then we start getting into super purple.
Yeah, for sure.
And these next 3 that we've got here are extra, extra purple. I mean, that lavender purple that everybody loves. And Amagi Shiguri with that reticulation, this one makes a good small to mid-sized Japanese maple. It's got a unique shape where it starts off a little upright, then gets some semi-pendulous shapes like much of the smaller types of the Go series. Give it some protection from the hot afternoon sun, but make sure you give it some sunlight to really pick up those lavender purples. I've seen this thing be a deep purple to a lavender purple to a fuchsia purple.
Yeah, I mean, it's got some kind of metallic flavors to it too, just on the sheen on that leaf, and the way there's some depth into that color. You have different shades of purple that go all the way through the leaf. It's amazing. I love just taking pictures of this tree. It's just always putting on a show. It's one of my favorites.
It's definitely a great container plant as well, and it's one that's very unusual and is very different. So Acer Lavagatum Honglong, there aren't many selections of those Lavagatums. I'm a huge, super fan of the Lavagatums. They go to high elevations. They're a plant that are extremely cold tolerant for an evergreen maple.
Right.
They do drop their leaves in those higher elevations, but it is so unique and so special. Mark Wethington found this, and Matt and I started grafting this early on. Mark was like, hey, I've got this cool plant, you should graft it. And we said, Mark, you know, this plant is amazing after a few years of evaluating it. You need to put a name on this.
Right.
If you don't put a name on this, we're putting the name Mark Wethington on this plant. Right. You've got to put a name on this. And they ended up settling with Honglong, which translates as red dragon.
Yeah.
So we've got another plant that translates as red dragon in the nursery trade. But this plant is so unique and so different. It's actually grafted onto palmatum. I mean, Acer lavagatums are in section palmata, believe it or not. So they're in the same section as your japonicums, your shirasawanums. And so it's amazing that they're in section palmatum, so unique and so different.
Yeah, I'm glad that, you know, when we can get into the species, different species of maples, I think that's really an exciting place to get. You know, we all know palmatums, all those things, but to see, you know, even getting into cultivars of different species, I think that's really cool.
That's what came into me at number 2.
Right, yeah.
So number 1.
Number 1, we've got Purple Ghost. I mean, it doesn't hardly get any better than this. Talon Buchholz introduction, I mean, kind of the signature for the Ghost series, in my opinion. Maybe close, you know, Amber Ghost might be a close second, but that Purple Ghost is just absolutely as it says. I mean, it's got that ghost-like appearance with the reticulation and that beautiful purple color.
Yeah, and you can get some fuchsia colors, some deep purple colors, to even some purple reds. I mean, the same tree, different years can be lavender purple to that fuchsia purple. And you can go on MrMaple.com and see the real color of Purple Ghost. There are some photoshopped bonsai photos out there on the internet. If you see a bonsai photo of Purple Ghost, it's likely photoshopped. There's maybe a few real ones out there, but a lot of them, they turn up that purple color.
Yeah, right.
We don't do that on MrMaple.com. You can go look at real colors of this being lavender purple to fuchsia purple. I mean, it's crazy that the same plant can change just depending on, you know, how it leaves out in the spring.
Yeah, you know, and plus you get the added bonus of being reticulated, which I think is like one of the most special characteristics for maples. I mean, I just love all of those reticulated groups. They just give you so much depth into the leaf. You know, you just want to look deeper into it, and that beautiful purple color. I mean, this is one of my favorite of the Ghost series for sure. Like, I always feel like it's in that top of, when it comes to the reticulated types, it's up there.
And I always say that there's no blue Japanese maples, but
right.
there are purple, and Purple Ghost is almost as purple as they come.
Right.
And this plant is spectacular. It's one of my favorite Japanese maples. On our last trip to Oregon, Matt and I were walking around the Floral Wonder collection at Buchholz Nursery in the gardens there, and we got to take a selfie with Talon Buchholz himself, the man who introduced the Ghost series, the man who introduced Purple Ghost, right in front of the original Ghost, Purple Ghost, and it was in perfect fall color.
That's pretty awesome.
And so this thing goes to some really nice fuchsia reds in the fall. For a Japanese maple, this one is amazing. I mean, during the summer, sometimes you can get some darker maroon colors on it, but it's a plant that is everything they love about Japanese maples, giving you that color out in the landscape. And Purple Ghost does it with a unique purple color that, to me, tops all other plants.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a classic.
I mean, you know, here it is, our top 5 purple plants. I mean, this is such a cool thing. I love doing our top 5s. We're always trying to kind of bring things in front of you guys to kind of maybe think about things a little bit outside the box, bring some attention to different cultivars, just to keep your interest and make you think about, you know, putting new plants in your garden. I mean, if you want to splash of purple, right? I mean, think about that. You want to splash of purple in your garden, pair that with something yellow, you know, like Tim's favorite color, yellow. Pair that with that. You got an amazing contrast out there. I just love this concept of just continuously bringing these new things for people.
Yeah, I do too. And if you see one of these plants that's currently sold out on the website, fear not. We're bringing it back. We're always working to bring those things back to MrMaple.com. A great way you can find out when they're going to be available is sign up for our weekly emails on MrMaple.com. But for a specific plant, you can actually go, when it says sold out, click notify me, plug your email in there, and when this tree becomes available again, we'll email you and let you know that it's available. And when that happens, you better check out quickly because some of these plants will sell out pretty quickly.
Yeah, I love the fact, you know, we have this huge crew now that's just constantly out here working out in the greenhouses, potting up plants. We're always preparing for the future, you know, preparing for now, but also preparing for the future. So like Tim said, you know, sometimes you see something, you're like, man, I wish that was in stock. Man, just be patient. It's coming. We've got a crew of people out here every day working, labeling, potting, doing all. We really appreciate all of that. And so we appreciate you guys tuning in today.
Take care
God bless.
and have an awesome day.